The old house loomed before them, shrouded in an eerie silence. It was the kind of silence that seemed to swallow all sound, making the air feel thick and heavy. The house had stood there for decades, abandoned and forgotten, its once vibrant paint now peeling and faded. The stories about it were as old as the town itself, tales of ghosts and strange happenings that kept most people away. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out at the world. They seemed to follow the group of friends as they approached, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. The glass was cracked and dirty, obscuring whatever might be lurking inside, and it was as if the house itself was watching, waiting for its next visitors. 4 friends, Sammy, the fearless leader, Mariam, the cautious one, Ali, easily spooked, and Noor, the ever-enthusiastic, stood before it. They had heard the stories, but tonight they were determined to uncover the truth. Each had their own reasons for being there, but together they formed a bond of curiosity and bravery.
Dare you to go in?
Sammy challenged, a glint in his eye. He was always the one to push the boundaries, to test the limits. His friends knew this about him, and it was part of what made their adventure so thrilling. The wind howled around them, rustling the dead leaves scattered on the porch. It was as if the house was breathing, exhaling a cold, eerie breath that sent shivers down their spines. The leaves danced in the wind, creating a symphony of whispers that seemed to beckon them closer. Mariam shivered, pulling her jacket tighter. She had always been the cautious one, the voice of reason in their group. But tonight, even she felt a strange pull towards the house, a curiosity that overpowered her fear.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
She asked, her voice barely a whisper. The question hung in the air, a reminder of the danger they might be walking into. But the thrill of the unknown was too strong to resist. Ali, his face pale, shook his head vehemently. He had always been the most easily spooked, and the idea of entering the house filled him with dread. But he didn't want to be the one to back out, not in front of his friends.
No way, I'm waiting out here.
Noor, already filming with her phone, grinned. She loved capturing their adventures, and this one promised to be the most exciting yet. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and it gave the others a boost of courage.
This is going to be epic,
she exclaimed, her voice echoing in the stillness. The anticipation was palpable, and the night seemed to hold its breath, waiting for what would happen next. Sammy, with a mischievous grin, stepped towards the creaky front door. The wood groaned under his weight, and the sound echoed through the night, adding to the eerie atmosphere.
Come on, scaredy cats. It's just an old house. But as they stood there, on the threshold of the unknown, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to step into a different world. One where the stories of ghosts and strange happenings might just be true.
The air inside was heavy with the smell of dust and decay. It was as if the house itself was breathing, exhaling years of neglect and forgotten memories. The walls seemed to whisper secrets of the past, their voices muffled by layers of grime and cobwebs. Cobwebs, thick as curtains, hung from every corner. They swayed gently in the draught, creating eerie patterns in the dim light. It was clear that no one had disturbed this place in a very long time. A single beam of light from Noor's phone cut through the gloom, dancing over the shadows. The light flickered as she moved, casting long, ghostly shapes on the walls. It was their only guide in the oppressive darkness.
Whoa, this place is something else,
breathed Mariam, her eyes wide with apprehension. She could feel the weight of the house pressing down on her, each step forward a battle against the urge to turn and run. The floorboards groaned under their weight as they ventured deeper into the house. Each creak echoed through the empty halls, a reminder of the house's age and fragility. Every creak and groan sent shivers down their spines. It was as if the house was alive, reacting to their presence with every step they took.
See, nothing to be scared of. It's just an old house,
Sammy whispered, though his voice held a slight tremor. He tried to sound confident, but the fear was evident in his eyes. A sudden clatter from upstairs made them jump. The noise was sharp and unexpected, breaking the silence like a gunshot. Noor, ever the filmmaker, caught their reactions with glee. Her camera was always ready, capturing every moment of their adventure.
What was that? Did you hear it too?
Mariam squeaked, grabbing onto Sammy's arm. Her grip was tight, her fear palpable. Sammy, trying to appear brave, swallowed his fear and chuckled nervously. He knew he had to keep it together for the sake of the group, but the house was testing his resolve. They crept up the stairs, their shadows stretching long and distorted in the dim light. The air grew colder as they reached the landing. A musty old grandfather clock stood at the end of the hallway, its pendulum frozen in time. Noor, ever the comedian, jumped out from behind it, shouting,
Boo.
Mariam shrieked, more from surprise than fear, and even Sammy let out a yelp. Ali, hearing the commotion from outside, yelled,
Is everyone okay?
His voice, muffled by the closed door, only made them laugh harder. The tension, broken by their laughter, dissipated like smoke. They were just friends, exploring an old spooky house. What could be more fun? The laughter died down as they entered a room at the end of the hallway. The air grew colder and an eerie silence enveloped them. Each step echoed ominously, amplifying their growing sense of dread. The room was dark, the only light filtering in from the moon hanging high in the night sky. Shadows danced on the walls, creating ghostly shapes that seemed to move with a life of their own. A chill ran down their spines as they noticed a figure, shrouded in a white sheet, standing in the corner. It was motionless, yet its presence was overwhelmingly sinister.
A ghost!
Mariam whispered, her eyes wide with terror. Her heart pounded in her chest and she could barely breathe. The fear was palpable, gripping her entire being. The figure moved, its arms outstretched, and let out a mournful moan. The sound echoed through the room, sending shivers down their spines. It was a sound that seemed to come from the depths of despair. Sammy, trying to be brave, stepped forward. His legs felt like lead, but he forced himself to move. He had to know what they were dealing with.
Who are you?
He asked, his voice trembling slightly. The figure moved again, floating towards them. It seemed to glide effortlessly, its movements both graceful and terrifying. Noor, still filming, zoomed in on the ghostly apparition. Her hands shook, but she kept the camera steady, determined to capture every moment of this otherworldly encounter.
This is amazing.
She whispered, her voice filled with excitement. Despite the fear, there was a thrill in the air, a sense of adventure that kept them rooted to the spot, eager to see what would happen next. Just then, the sheet fell away, revealing a very embarrassed-looking Ali. He was holding a white bedsheet and trying to stifle a giggle.
I thought it would be funny to scare you.
He confessed, his cheeks turning crimson. Mariam and Sammy, relieved that it wasn't a real ghost, burst into laughter. Even Noor couldn't help but chuckle.
Ali, you scared the living daylights out of us!
Mariam exclaimed, wiping tears of laughter from her eyes. Ali, seeing that his prank had backfired but had also brought them closer, started to laugh along with them. The experience had brought them closer together, proving that even fear couldn't break their bond. As they explored further, they discovered that the haunted house wasn't so haunted after all. The noises they had heard were just the wind rattling the old windows and the floorboards creaking under their weight. The ghostly figure was just their friend, Ali, playing a prank. They found old toys scattered in a dusty attic, remnants of the children who had once called this house their home. They imagined the laughter and joy that had once filled these rooms, and the house didn't seem so scary anymore. It was just an old house full of memories and stories. Leaving the old house behind, they felt a sense of accomplishment. They had faced their fears, laughed in the face of danger, and emerged from the experience stronger than ever.
See? Nothing to be scared of.
Well, except maybe Ali's ghostly imitations.
Mariam teased, nudging Ali playfully. Noah, reviewing the footage on her phone, grinned.
This is going to be the best vlog ever.
She exclaimed. As they walked away from the house, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, they realized that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we create in our minds.